Right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today's lesson is one of the it's not one of the. I believe it will be a conclusive lesson for this chapter 6, currency exchange. Even though the book goes chapter 6.7, which is estimating the current exchange, but we are trying to go with an actual currency exchange questions. So chapter 6.6 should be conclusive chapter. So um, let's talk about currency exchange. Well, let's talk about currency first. Currency is basically units of money. Some people use dollar, like for example US and Canadian, but even that, it is different. Canadian is KDN, US is US, something like that, because dollar depends on which country that you go, the value is different. So currency basically show mathematical relationship of how much a certain dollar, yen, euro worth in each of the country. Good. Example is Japanese use yen, Korean use won, Chinese use yuan or yuan, and when it comes to let's see, British, they used to use pound, which is known as, it looked like this, pound, but it's kind of hard to say at this point. The reason being is they used to use euro, of course, because they were in euro, that EU, European Union, but now they got out. So they're Brexit, Britain. So maybe they come back to the pound. I honestly don't know. I didn't travel for a long time. But in any case, that may help you because this curriculum and this workbook is developed quite long ago. So it still use pounds. So regardless, we're going to use these kind of exchange system. And lots of people probably have some experience because whenever you go for a family trip to some other country, you need their own money. So that's what I want to point it out. One thing that you need to know, which always change because we cannot perfectly predict the economy, is exchange rate or rate of exchange. Rate of exchange is basically the amount that money is worth from one currency to another. And this varies daily, hourly at some extreme situation, especially when you're an investor, it changes a lot. So we need to use basically simple ratio to compare. And talking about ratio, there are several different ways, but we're gonna use two possible methods. One they use our good old column having ratio method, and another one unit analysis. So let's do either of them. First thing first. Example number 1. That's better. Danielle wants to travel to buy textile. She has 2,000 Canadian dollar. What is that amount worth in Chinese yuan, Japanese yen, and euros? So we have multiple things happening. First of all, let's use our reference table. And reference table is always required, even though know the fact that the reference table that we have on page 127, it is old example. To be fair, nowadays better to Google up to find out the currency table if you want to know, or Google dollar to euro, something like that. But in any case, let's do this. First thing first, the total amount that is given in this question was 2,000 Canadian dollar. That's what we have. The first question was asking, what is 2,000 worth in Chinese yuan? So when I look at the table, Canadian dollar, which is in row number 1, and you are trying to go to a Chinese yuan. So if I look at it, $1 Canadian, it's worth 0.152 yuan in China. That's basically what you see in here. Of course, this is garbage when you think about it because it's 2011. Right now, despite COVID-19, China's economy has been going up pretty darn high. So have that in your mind. But in any case, so I want you to create a table. 2,000 dot dot is equal to, I don't know, X amount of yuan, but I know that $1 is equivalent to 0.152. So this simple ratio, whatever I multiply inside should be equal to whatever multiplying outside. So 1x, that is equal to, and that's 2,000 multiplied by 0.152. So x is equal to, now take out your calculator, 2,000 multiplied by 0.152 equal to, 304 yuan. That's basically what is equivalent to. Second example. What was that? Page. Oh, by the way, this example I just found that it's on page 173, not 172. Have that in your mind. But in any case, it is asking what is in Japanese yen. So I'm using the table from reference table on page 172. So example is on page 173. Reference table is 172. 1 Canadian dollar is equivalent to 0.011 yen. So I'm going to calculate 2,000 dot dot x is equal to $1 is equal to 0.011 yen. So whatever multiply inside should be equal to outside. X is equal to 2,000 multiplied by 0.011. So 2,000 multiplied by 0.011 should be equal to 22 yen. And that's Japanese yen, and that's Chinese yen. CN, Japanese JP. C, what is it exchanged with? In euro. $1 euro, $1 Canadian was equivalent to 1.482 euro. That's a C with double line as a unit. There we go. That's better. Use the same thing. 2,000 bucks. I do not know that value in euro, but $1 is equal to 1.482. So whatever inside multiplying should be equal to outside multiplying. So that's x is equal to 2,000 multiplied by 1.482. And x is, well, what you are calculating. 2,000 multiplied by 1.482 is equal to 2,000, that's 964, and that's in euro. That's one of the example. Let's do one more. Example number 2 on page 173. Of course, we are going to still use reference table on page 172. let's read the question. Danielle has euro 420. So 420 euro left after traveling to Europe and wants to go to Mexico. So how much that worth as Mexican dollar? Peso in this case. So let's look at the table. The table, reference table, says 1 euro is equivalent to 0.055 Mexican peso. There you go. We are going to use this as a unit analysis in this case. So let's deal with this. First thing first. 420 unit is euro. So here's the thing. I know that most of the units generally go behind, but money is a bit of an exception. Money can go in front, and that's what a lot of monetary unit does. But in any case, I need to get rid of euro. I want Mexican dollar. 0.0551. That's basically what you can do. And yeah, without further ado, let's give it a shot. So 420 multiplied by 0.055. Oops, I punched it wrong. Is equal to 23.1 Mexican dollar, or Mexican peso if you will. That is how you can calculate how you can calculate the whole currency exchange using the reference table. It is still simple ratio that we learned before. So your to-do list is basically solve all questions from page 173 to 175. That is today's lesson.